Anvil Empires is shaping up to be something special. The devs have been making steady progress, and with each update, it feels like we're inching closer to that long-awaited early access launch, which should hopefully happen later this year. They continue to add new siege equipment and weapons while also fine-tuning existing mechanics. Every update is bringing the game closer to a polished large-scale warfare experience. With this latest update, the devs have introduced the new heavy battering ram. This new siege equipment offers a slower but safer method of breaching enemy walls. It uses a mechanism to prime and then activate the ram, eliminating the need for operators to manually charge the vehicle toward its target. Like its smaller counterpart, it requires 6 players to push compared to the regular ram's 4, and it features overhead protection against projectiles, offering players additional siege options in the late age. These rams are more expensive than their lighter counterparts and deal less damage per hit. The heavy battering ram must be placed against its target and then operated by the crew. The right rear seat operates the hand crank to prime the ram mechanism, while the left rear seat releases the tension and triggers the ram strike. This is a solid addition to the game, especially for players who want a safer, more coordinated way to break through enemy defenses. In the past, it has been hard to siege castles with archers constantly raining arrows down, as we try and push siege equipment towards the walls. While it may require more players to operate and cost more, and it does less damage, the added protection is going to be well worth it. I'm excited to see how these will be used during the next test, and I hope they will be a viable option when sieging castles. Next, the devs added a small UI improvement for showing the time and season in the game. Previously, the map screen displayed the current time and season in a static plain text box. This has been upgraded into a new widget that has visual elements and animates as time passes. In addition to displaying the current time, it also visualizes the current season and weather. Hovering over the widget displays additional details about the current age as well. Though this may not seem significant, it's small changes like this that show the devs really care about the look and feel for their game and the overall player experience. Next up is an overview of damage types. In the past, it wasn't always clear what kind of damage each weapon dealt, or how it affected the target you were hitting. To help with this, damage types are now a more prominent feature, with icons added to tooltips for clarity. Players can now see and understand 8 distinct damage types: slashing, siege, cleaving, crushing, piercing, missile, burning, and water. This gives a much clearer picture of how different weapons and equipment interact with targets. The devs note that this is still a high-level overview of the system. It doesn't yet capture every detail, and some aspects may still change before release. Next, we have another simple UI improvement that is coming to the game. As part of an ongoing effort to improve player experience and promote coordination, the devs continue to refine the map's readability and usability. In this update, they've added structured tooltips to the map, allowing players to view stockpile contents to town centers, keeps, and large camps. This is similar to how Foxhole works when hovering your mouse over bunker bases or town halls to see stockpile contents. Overall, this should help players coordinate attacks and defenses better. Next, let's talk about the Cavalry meta. This meta has quickly taken hold in Anvil Empires, reshaping how raids and battles are being fought. Horses offer unmatched mobility, allowing players to strike hard and fast before defenders can properly react. Many clans have shifted their strategies to center around mounted units, using speed to overwhelm settlements, harass supply lines, and disengage before taking heavy losses. The result is a battlefield that feels far more fluid and unpredictable than before. This shift has also created a noticeable change in player behavior. Raiding parties that once relied on infantry or slower siege pushes are now dominated by cavalry charges, with organized groups coordinating devastating hit-and-run tactics. While not unbeatable, the widespread adoption of mounted warfare has forced defenders to rethink their fortifications, proving just how impactful this cavalry meta has become across the game. It'll be interesting to see if this meta continues in future tests, or if future weapons and equipment will be introduced to counter it. Next, the devs have updated the map and the overall feel of the environment within the game. Back in June 2024, the devs announced the first phase of the Natural Environment update. They revised the look of trees, grasses, foliage, and things scattered around the ground to give the map a more unified feel that aligned with the long-term vision of Anvil Empires. In this update, they begin Phase 2 with improved water and rock formations. This is what one of the devs had to say about building the world. One of the more challenging parts of constructing the world of Anvil Empires is integrating new features across such a large-scale landmass. We're committed to delivering a high-quality immersive world, and that means building smart tools and workflows that allow us to build something as handcrafted and organic as possible with the flexibility for adjustments as game design needs evolve." End quote. Rivers on the map are a lot more dynamic and will naturally flow around riverbanks, rocks, and bridges. Also in the future, there will be support for different categories of rivers such as streams and brooks. Accompanying the river dynamics, lakes and oceans now feature improved dynamics as well, such as cresting waves along shorelines and cliff faces. Oceans now feature interior waves that liven them up, rather than sailing on a sea of endless glass. Cliffs and rock formations are also being overhauled. Previously, all cliffs and large rock formations have been temporary to facilitate gameplay or level design needs. Testers will start to notice new, more detailed and varied rock formations replacing old ones that will start cropping up in the natural environment. The devs stated that they are continuing to work on these elements, and some parts may appear incomplete, such as splash effects of water or waterfalls, but they are excited to continue to tweak little areas on the map, and over time as they make these changes, the map will improve and feel more alive. Another visual update is with carts and caravans. Previous to this update, the devs were still using some of the oldest assets in the project for these models. They have now been refreshed with more detail and should be more consistent with the rest of the game. As someone who mainly works in small homesteads and logistics, I'm happy about this small change. And last, here are some smaller quality of life changes. The devs have updated the inventory HUD and its functionality to make it more intuitive and responsive. It now sits horizontally at the bottom of the screen and lets users auto-equip items by pressing their assigned hotkeys. This auto-equip feature can be toggled in the options menu. This is a much better look than what we had previously, and aligns more with current games of this style. Next, players are no longer blocked from performing actions when low on stamina. Instead, attack strength now scales down with remaining stamina, and damage is adjusted accordingly. This is another great change, as many times I found myself standing around unable to do anything because my stamina was just too low. Beyond these updates, the next test includes dozens of bug fixes and balance changes, such as resolving issues with unchoppable trees and tweaks to horse charging mechanics. Overall, this was a fairly small update, but I love the way the devs are taking care of even the smallest elements in the game, and are not just trying to push big ticket items out without fixing existing features first. I will say that if early access is still planned for this year, that the game still has quite a ways to go. The combat, in my opinion, still feels a little slow and sluggish for me, and I will want more options introduced before I dive into much of the combat side of things. I will say though that I really enjoy building my homestead and building up my own little piece of land within this game. This part of the game could honestly be its own game. It's quite relaxing, and I found it to be the best part of the game so far. I hope they continue to add more elements to this side of the game and more customization options to make it feel like your own little home. What are your thoughts about this update? What are you hoping they will work on or add next? Let me know in the comments. If you're interested in learning more about Anvil Empires, make sure to join the official Discord with the link in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Anvil Empires content. I'll see you out on the battlefield. Cheers.